Good day, my darling oddities, and welcome to the View From Otter Space, your number one show for totally accurate news, hosted by a talking otter in a top hat. In today's top story, the Vtuber Bio-Steampunk, best known for having an A-class personality and C-class production quality, was arrested today following a tirade concerning a certain flag. No, don't worry, it's none of the flags you're thinking of, but rather the North Carolina flag that landed Bio in some hot water. Following his appearance on an unnamed but devilishly handsome otters television show, Bio was arrested by the North Carolina authorities on charges of slandering a national treasure, which, by the ancient voodoo traditions of North Carolina, carries with it a sentence of 10 years imprisonment or community service equivalent to getting 13 chickens to laugh at knock-knock jokes. Court proceedings are scheduled to begin tomorrow, but are anticipated to drag on for a long time as lawyers argue whether Bio's statements can really be considered slander or are instead libel. Once the legal teams acknowledge that neither of them know the difference between the two terms, they will then need to determine the temperament of the chickens used to gauge Bio's sentence should he indeed be found guilty. North Carolina is famously known as a state with chickens who have the worst senses of humor of all. When asked for a comment, Mr. Steampunk had this to say.
I stand by what I said. It's a terrible flag. The date on there is complete, utter nonsense. And... Wait a minute, are you recording me right now?
Are you recording me right now? Indeed, Mr. Steampunk. You can, of course, count on the View from Outer Space to keep you updated as the situation develops. And now on to our next story, which joins swamp creature VTuber Gil Swamp Guy. Gil, of course, being known for incredible buns, as well as half-decent hamburger rolls. Mr. Swamp Guy has been inundated with people approaching him lately, staking out his home, and rummaging through his garbage after an online theorist posited a connection between him and the infamous Thing from the Black Lagoon. This harassment came to a head when Gil prepared to hold a barbecue with his family on Memorial Day weekend, only to find a photographer hiding curled up in the grill. When asked for a comment, Gil stated that he has not yet received the results of the lab test, but I'd keep a safe distance from the grill. I have a big event coming up that I've been asked to cook for, and I'd hate to turn the burners on and have medium rare journalist. Other than that, just make sure you get my good side. This reporter would like to remind our viewers that cooking and eating paparazzi is legal in 17 states, and some reports say that they taste just like roasted chinchilla when eaten immediately after cooking. And now on to our final story of the evening. We catch up with Hasno Grimm, the necromancer quail. Mr. Grimm recently came under fire for his work with the Avian Superiority Society, or ASS for short. This bird-based organization has been in the news a lot lately for their drastic actions, including flying into windows, defecating on automobiles, and of course, raising the dead from their graves to feed on the flesh of the living. Critics believe that Mr. Grimm has escalated an otherwise peaceful group into a militant force bent on disturbing the peace, damaging property, and stealing breadcrumbs. ASS sympathizers believe that Hasno's support has merely allowed the group to finally be taken seriously by the public. Law officials have thus far been unable to make any arrestable offenses stick, as it turns out most cities do not have laws strictly prohibiting the raising of shambling undead monstrosities. The one exception, of course, is Burbank, California, where necromancy was outlawed following the Undead riots of '78. This reporter managed to catch up with Hasno recently, and when questioned about the use of necromancy, he went on record to say, "It's a preventative measure. The undead defend otherwise peaceable individuals. The only ones in danger are those who want to harm non-combatants. I don't see an issue." This quote, of course, referring to the recent attacks on Avian Americans by crotchety old people with brooms and shoes. Hasno went on to clarify that the undead are also useful for hauling heavy loads. You can't expect a bird to do all of the heavy lifting, now can you? That brings us to the end of tonight's reports, but you can rest assured that as events progress, we'll be in the midst of the action, bringing you all the latest news as it happens. If you'd like to keep up to date with all the latest, totally accurate, and true news from around the world, make sure to subscribe to this channel, as well as our affiliates on Twitch, Twitter, and TikTok. Links for all of those will be in the description below. Until next time, reporting for the View from Outer Space, this is Otter H.O. signing off. Good night, and you're next.